So with Kizaru coming to Egghead Island and is very subtly hinted at relation to Vegapunk, it's highly likely that we will finally be seeing an awakened Logia user. First let's start with what we know. Zoan Awakening. Lucy and the jailer beasts at Impel Down. They gain heightened senses, strength, endurance, etc. Lucy's awakening turns him into a man-beast with a cloud-like Hagoromo scarf to indicate his newfound divinity and transcendence. Mythical Zoan Awakening. Similar to Zoans in that users may become divine or enhanced versions of their given animals. Hito no Mi users are slightly different, though. I think they essentially become enlightened humans, which could be depicted as them becoming godly. Examples of this are Sengoku's Big Buddha form and Luffy's awakened Gear 5 form. In the latter case, he becomes eternally jolly and enlightened to portray how truly free he is now. White is often used as a color to symbolize divinity and purity in East Asian culture or religion, thus explaining his appearance. Interestingly, his hair and Hagoromo scarf look like fury/flowing clouds. I personally interpret this as like the saying head in the clouds or something akin to him using his wacky imagination to fight and influence the world around him because clouds are often associated with dreams, freedom, flying, etc. It could also indicate his transcendence cause sky and heaven can be culturally synonymous. Paramecia Awakening. Unfortunately, it seems Paramecia users don't get a directly godly transformation. They can use their fruit powers to influence the environment and people around them and turn them into their fruit's element and or apply the power onto them. Otherwise, they stay grounded. I know that Kid and Douglas Bullet can use their fruits to mechanize and surround their bodies with metal. However, it's very different cause their base bodies are still vulnerable and unchanged. Logia Awakening. We know next to nothing about Logia awakenings and for good reason. Oda is likely saving the best for last. Logias have been elevated throughout the story as not only rare but exceptionally powerful as well. Although it is not explicitly stated, many surmise that awakened users can permanently terraform the environment to their respective element since we've been shown anomalies like Punk Hazard, where Aokiji and Akainu clashed. I've even seen some theories that Kizaru or the previous Pika no Mi user was responsible for the eternal sunlight at Anai's lobby as a result. Also, some speculate that Enel was an awakened user due to his unique 200 million volt Amuro form, an anomaly amongst every Logia power thus far except for Green Bull. The plant Admiral doesn't have a specific form yet still transforms into a full-body anthropomorphized elemental look whereas other Logias mostly retain their human aspect even when using their powers. Maybe him and Enel's lack of restraint as a result of their arrogance. Kizaru's Awakening. So with this knowledge of previous awakenings, I believe that the Logia awakening fully transforms the user into a godlike being that embodies their fruit element. Just a hulking, massive force of nature whose power is so overwhelming to the point that everything surrounding them is engulfed in their sheer presence. It could explain why the admirals have to be so reserved with their fruit power since they could easily cause collateral damage and massacre innocent lives. For tangible elements such as magma and ice, I could see Akainu and Aokiji's awakening being like a bigger version of Green Bull's supposedly awakened appearance. Regarding Kizaru's awakening specifically, however, I think he will become something similar to Enel's Amuro form since lightning and light are intangible and thus harder to depict in its raw state. Skypiea is known to have been written when Oda thought he would have to near the end of his story, so this could arguably have been a hint about defying the false gods that are Logia fruit users. Logias were seemingly godlike early on in the story and thought to be impossible to defeat. The will of D are enemies of God, so I think this would make thematic sense. Luffy himself is depicted as a trickster god with red eyes and mischievous, almost sinister wide-mouthed grins, and is the son of the devil known as Dragon. In Marineford, people referred to him and Ace as demon spawn. Also, many of the Straw Hat pirates have underworld themes to them such as Zoro's Asura technique, Robin's Daemonio Fleur, Sanji's Diable Jambe, and Brook's command over souls. Essentially, the badass band of demonic delinquents are rebelling against the arrogant beings who have established an authoritarian rule over the current world and assumed themselves to be untouchable gods. I'm reminded of Persona and many JRPGs haha. To add on to this Dawn vs Dusk, Freedom vs Unjust Order, and Demon vs False God themes that are present in One Piece, how cool would it be if Kizaru's awakened form looked like a true heavenly being? Like an angel or an actual seraphim, or maybe a light-themed gangster god, or a Japanese god of light like Amaterasu. There's undoubtedly a variety of religious themes hidden within Mary Goi's and the upcoming conflict, so who knows? The possibilities are endless. He could reach an enlightened state and just start blasting away with the limitations on his light power stripped away, all while smiling like he always does. It would also be cool if his form is like an inverse of Luffy's Gear 5. While Luffy's smile looks mischievous and sinister, he actually has kind intent and is fun-loving. In contrast, Kizaru's smile would seem nice on the outside but is actually just a facade that hides his malicious cunning and apathy. I'm so excited to read about these upcoming chapters because we will finally get some answers on the most prevailing mysteries in the series. On top of that, we will get to see Kizaru in action and hopefully some more explanation on his motives/powers. Please let me know what you think in the comments. You personally theorize regarding the Admiral of Light.